You think Mark Cuban had anyone taped up if they didn't sign Luka to that deal?
I mean, everyone knew it was happening. I feel like no one's turned down that initial. Ever since they changed the CBA and all the contracts changed with Supermax and enticing players to stay.
Well, that's
a rookie max that he got, right? Because he's still under his rookie contract.
Yeah, but
no one has turned that deal down yet. They're saying Zion may be the first, by the way.
Yeah, I think it comes out to like it's like $80 million more that you can make. They do that to keep you in New Orleans and Utah.
100%. But like Zion would be stupid to turn that down because especially with his risk of injury, he's had.
Oh no, he's gonna cash in. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he should turn that deal down.
Yeah, no,
if
of course.
Luka accepts it, what gives him the right to turn it down? He's a 10 times better basketball player than Luka is.
And also,
I mean, he's a better 10 times basketball player than Zion is, Luka meaning.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you can always sign the deal and then demand the trade after.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Or as they go along, they can alter it. Like, say, hey, we'll reconstruct it, and make it better after he becomes eligible for it.
Yeah. Everyone's praising Luka now, and I don't disagree with the contract at all. It's rightfully so. He's probably one of the 4 or 5 guys in the league where you remember the blank check theory that I always would bring up. It's like, there's like a handful of athletes in every league where you're like, if I'm the owner, here's a checkbook, just put what you want. I'm cool with it.
He's on the fringe of my top 5 players in the NBA. He's on the fringe. He's like 5, 6 right there. Like you could arguably say he's top 5. Easily
that's fair.
Top 10.
Yeah. I don't think that's a crazy take.
Yeah.
But what I do think is going to happen is what seems to happen to all these young dudes that are the next big star, superstar, all NBA guy. It probably would have happened with Giannis because it was happening to Giannis the last couple of years. How in the beginning you're praised for being so good, and you're the next guy up. You win MVPs, you win these awards, but then you start losing. And then it's, you can't build with him. His contract is too big. What is it about him? You start getting slandered.
Yeah.
Right? Think about Giannis before. Dude, even during the playoffs, people were like, can you win with Giannis and shit? And then he just fucking goes nuclear. Do you think that's going to happen with Luka also? Because dude hasn't made it out the first round. I know the West is a lot harder. But it's constantly always happening with these guys.
Everything comes down to winning, right? So, I mean, I think that Luka eventually will figure it out. And Mark Cuban is the type of owner where, like, he doesn't get complacent.
Yeah.
He's just steadily trying to evolve the Mavs and, like, go out and get a free agent. Like, they made the deal to get Porzingis. I mean, even though it hasn't really worked out, but, I mean, at least he tried it. He's not afraid to try things and go out and make a move. And, like, he's not going to let Luka suffer, trust me. Like, And that final, my bad, the finals that they beat the Heat, NBA always talks about it. We always talk about it. Like, that was, like, impressive. Even though that was their first season.
Yeah.
That was one of the most, what do we call it?
I say that's the worst team to win a championship.
That's what he says, right?
Team as a whole.
Right.
You got one Hall of Famer.
But
you got Jason Kidd on the tail end of his career, right? So he's a Hall of Fame player, but...
And I always say to him that it was the perfect mix of guys that were just a bunch of hungry vets that have never won a ring before, that just came together at the right time to play a young team that just had the Heat, was their first year of the Heatles in the Big Three, and they just capitalized.
Yeah. But, I agree with everything that you're saying. Mark Cuban's very forward-thinking. He's not afraid to make any roster changes. But I will say this, it took a while for the coach to change.
Yeah.
He brings in Jason Kidd now, right?
Yeah.
Kind of Luka's guy. That's kind of who Luka wanted in a way, handpicked his guy. Right? They bring in Nico Harrison, the former Nike executive, turned GM to essentially be like a player relationships guy.
Yeah.
They bring in Luka's coach from Slovenia. All of
Wasn't he with like Phoenix at one point too? There was someone on Slovenia that was with Phoenix during the draft.
Recently?
No. When he was coming out for the draft.
Oh, Igor something was his name.
He was maybe a trainer or his trainer overseas or maybe like in the Euro League that he was playing. But I remember vividly there being a dude and everyone was like, they're going to take Luka because remember they had the number 1 pick with Ayton. And they're like, Luka's guy is there. So they were trying to. I remember the betting markets moving. It was like Luka became like minus 300 to go to Phoenix.
Gotcha,
and then Ayton came out of nowhere.
Now that you mention it, I do remember that.
Yeah.
He coached the Mavs in 2000. Not the Mavs, the Suns in 2018. They won 20 games. He got fired. But,
they're accommodating him.
Exactly.
They're basically giving him the keys to the car, like the franchise. Like, just whatever we got to do to make you comfortable. And then I think they'll make out. And then he'll eventually, I feel like, go like what LeBron does, GM. And he's going to go and handpick the guys he wants in a free agent market. Like, hey, go get this guy.
Yeah.
I need another shooter here. I need another.
Get this guy
I need
out.
This type of, I need this type of defensive guy on the wing to help me out when I can't. Give me this guy to back me up when I'm not in the game. Things like that. He's gonna like handpick his roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 years, $207 million. What would you do if you signed some shit like that, Imp?
I don't know. Buy some property. Buy some
Smart,
stocks.
Smart,
I don't know.
You're way better than
Stocks.
I
You
am.
could buy some stocks now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here,
That's
crypto
all
cowboy
I do.
right here, right?
Ahmed is the crypto guy. I don't fuck with crypto. I am invested in one crypto that's like the ground level, and if it pops, then I'm good. If it doesn't, I'll just take my money out of it.
Yeah.
I'm more of a stock guy.
$207 million, fully guaranteed. Gotta love the NBA, right?
Yeah.
It's so fucking wild. And yo, he's 23 now. 5-year extension. He'll be 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna sign another fucking mega max.
He'll probably sign another 2.
Yeah.
The way he plays, yeah.
He's just been playing he's so young, but keep in mind he's been playing professionally for a
Since he's
few
like
years.
16.
Yeah.
For
Since
I
he's
say
like
a few
16.
years.
But
Yeah.
also, you know what my favorite thing about a guy like Luka is? His game's never gonna change. Like, he's not a John Wall, Russ, Derrick Rose, where
It's hard
explosiveness
on your
is
body.
Blake Griffin. Like
Yeah.
when
he's
they're
crafty.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's big. And
That's
he's
like the-
big. He just bullies guards. Like that's what
Yeah.
he does. Like
That's like the
he creates
prototype
mismatches.
saying for the random white dude from Europe. It's like he's shifty. It's
He's
like
shifty.
he's kind of slow though. Like
Yeah,
we're going up and down the court. But yo, Imp, remember I used to talk about how Tim Duncan played the same speed in 2K all his career, and that's why his game was so elite until the last year of his career.
Aged well.
I feel like Luka is the same thing. Like
Yeah.
his game isn't explosiveness. That's why you see guys like John Wall after you get an injury, a knee injury or an Achilles,
Lose
it's like your
explosiveness.
explosiveness isn't there, and it's hard for you to still be that elite kind of player.
Can't say the same for Russ though. I don't think he took a step down at all.
Yeah, but Russ also never. That's true. But Russ never, like, he had that meniscus.
He had knee surgery.
Yeah, but it's not like an ACL. Meniscus is tough, but
Still
like
a knee surgery.
Chris Johnson ran for 2,000 yards on a torn meniscus. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not an ACL. I get it. You're right. It is a surgery, but
At the time, it was considered a significant injury.
It was,
when
yeah.
it did happen.
yeah, that was the Pat Beverly thing, right?
Yeah. He was
yeah.
going to call a timeout, and he like challenged him, and like
Wow. But that's with Luka. It's I'm just worried about if he doesn't start winning now with the pressure. Now you've gotten paid. Now its expectations are probably higher, like even more than before.
Well, and this happened in the beginning of the season. They were like, "Oh, Luka MVP." He's still like 4 or 5 years out of him even being considered for an MVP. Like you said, you have to start winning.
Yeah.
And the Mavs aren't there yet. They're not even
Yeah.
close, to be
Yeah,
honest
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're getting into the playoffs, but to compete like with the Lakers, the Clippers, even the Jazz, the Suns now too, and then you got the Warriors coming back next year that are healthy. They're going to be struggling to get
Yeah.
into the playoffs next year. But I'm saying even this last year is the same thing.
And I'll say this. I think the general consensus is like the Mavericks haven't done an amazing job of surrounding him with talent yet. Like, I think it's clear that KP is not a 2, right? I think everyone understands that, right? I mean, I don't love Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, we could talk about, we'll talk about free agency in a bit, but kind of felt like
the Knicks.
a little bit of an overpay in a way.
Yeah.
Dorian Finney-Smith, Kleba, like, are these guys really that great?
It's not that. I don't think it's that bad though. I think the roster he has right now, it's really not that bad. Maybe a couple alterations, and it'll put them into that four seed and in the middle of the mix. As opposed to them looking right now, they're like kind of like
Bottom of the bottom of the playoff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think 1 or 2 moves will put them right in the middle of the mix, like with the Warriors maybe coming back. I don't think it's that bad. Tim Hardaway, that's not terrible for your wing player. Porzingis, yeah, he's not a Robin, but I mean he's not terrible either.
Yeah.
You got Luka himself. Who else is on that team?
Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleba.
Jalen Brunson. You
Solid.
got
I love Brunson.
I love Brunson too. I like Trey Burke more though.
Yeah,
I like Trey Burke a little more. And you saw how he was playing in the bubble. He played really well. Seth Curry was a big loss. That was a huge loss. For
and
them.
I think they underestimated
Yeah.
that loss of what he was going to be.
That was a big loss.
I just kind of think, they'll eventually get out of the Porzingis deal, or maybe they'll be able to move him, or
Yeah.
they're just kind of one guy away, I think, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair to say.
if you bump everyone down a notch
That's fair to say.
and you slot in a 2, they were pissed. That's why they were pissed off they didn't get Kyle Lowry, because Kyle Lowry would have been perfect for that team. Veteran leader, can take some pressure off of Luka handling the ball. Like, I think they were pissed off about Kyle Lowry.
I don't think they need a point guard though. I think they need a guy like Giannis.
Well,
I mean, okay, like Kawhi. There's more than like a forward, like a
two-way guy.
Yeah,
though.
like exactly. I didn't mean to say Giannis. Kawhi,
I love how you said Kawhi after like he's
Kawhi, but I'm saying like they need a guy like all right. So what free agents are coming up? Like you get him. I don't think a point guard is. What they're
you're
missing.
talking about like
Luka's the playmaking point guard that they
Yeah.
have already. I think having Lowry will take touches away from Luka that I think will backfire. I think they need more of a forward, like someone in the front court and not necessarily the back.
Well, that's why I think the Porzingis thing has blown up in their face because he hasn't been anything near what they thought
He's also
they were
been
getting.
hurt too.
He's been
I
hurt.
feel
Yeah.
like
But
he's
that's
been
kind
out
of
for
part of
but that's
games
his
and he played-
MO though.
yeah.
That's part of it.
Yo, that's for the Knicks. They don't do anything right, but that was one thing they finessed that trade. They finessed the shit out of that one.
And look, let me say. I'll say one thing about that whole deal, right? Randall clearly. I mean, look, I don't want to say he's clearly better than Porzingis, but he was an All NBA second team guy last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think he overachieved just like the Knicks as a whole. And I think he's going to regress, but I do agree with you.
And again, they traded Porzingis to be able to open up some cap space, which then in turn led them to sign him. So again, it wasn't a Randall for Porzingis swap, but he gave them the flexibility
To make that move.
to then sign him.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, not for nothing, Randall just resigns. He takes an extremely team-friendly deal to the point where, in terms of average annual salary, Randall's now the 39th highest-paid player in the NBA, and that's only going to go down. He's an All-NBA second team, and he's the 40th highest player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Porzingis is getting paid more than him right now. Keep in mind, off an All-NBA season. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really kind of,
And I said this to you too, and you think I'm crazy for it. I was saying sell high, move Thibodeau and Randall this offseason.
trade the coach.
Remember they did that? They traded Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm telling you, bro, sell high because Randall's gonna regress, and you're not Thibodeau. I love him to death. He came from Division III, played Division III actually basketball, represent. But I don't think he's the championship winning coach.
I'll say this. Even if Randall regresses, they're still going to get a great deal,
100%,
considering he took
100%.
less money.
Well, with that considered now, I'm reconsidering because I was not against him
because
staying.
you thought no, I agree. If get him at $35 million a year is different than at $25 million a year.
100%, because now they have flexibility to make some moves, and now we could get two studs, hopefully,
Yeah.
somewhere down the road.
Yeah.